Greetings all, and welcome back to Globbits Gaming Channel. Right, I'm going to do a little bit of a review on this little chap. The FV304 Tier 6 British SPG, or as he's more commonly referred to, with the fondest of reasons, Bert. He's been named Bert by circumflexes. I've no idea why, but the name just seems to stick. And this is one of those machines in the game that basically on paper, but it does become greater than the sum of its parts when you basically just take a look at it. Now, it's not got a lot of health. 280 hit points is not a great deal. A KV-1S or something of that ilk will swat you across the map. It's only a tiny little thing, which I suppose the low health does actually, sort of compensate for the fact that it's so small. I think that's the reason. Just to put it into perspective, it's not much bigger than a Luchs or a Lux, whatever you want to call it. It's not much bigger than a Panzer 1C. It's tiny. It only weighs 21.1 tons in my setup, so it weighs nothing. So if you get rammed, you're squished. But it has got a 500 horsepower engine, which means it can achieve, yes, you're not reading this incorrectly, a top speed of 72.4 miles an hour. Sorry, kilometers an hour. This thing fucking flies around the map. And in the gameplay that I'm going to show you, I actually helped to win a game using my mobility in my SPG. Traverse speed is 24 degrees a second. It's not exactly Cromwell agile, but it can turn corners. But at speed, it tends to struggle. But to be honest with you, you use the speed to get around the map rather than negotiating slalom courses. It's got no armour. If anything hits you, you basically mince. We'll talk about the gun in a minute. It's got a 310 metre view range. It's basically blind, but then again, if you're using this to spot, you are really in dire straits. But it's got 700 metre signal range, so not too bad at all. The gun then. It's a 4.5-inch howitzer, fires only high explosive ammunition. There is no armour piercing or premium ammo for this tank. It only fires high explosive ammunition. It's got 5 rounds a minute, which basically with my setup of vents and a rammer and 100% crew gives you a rate of fire of 10 seconds reload. Sorry, not a rate of fire, 10 seconds. It means you can fire every 10 seconds, which is pretty good for an artillery piece. The only drawback is, and it's a bigger drawback than Elephant's foreskin, it's only got 57mm of penetration and only does 450 damage. The aiming time's pretty good, 4.5 seconds is absolutely amazing. Just to put it into perspective, let's go to Yank Artillery. Let's look at the M44 and look at its top gun. Yeah, aiming time of 6 seconds. It's a really, really fast aiming weapon. So you can sort of like take pot shots at different targets. Accuracy, it says there 0.7, but to be honest with you, your aiming reticle gets really, really small. It's got a very, very high arc of fire. It shoots very high into the air. So you can get targets that normally think they're safe with it. The only problem is that 57mm penetration. If you're shooting things that have got really good armour, you're only going to be getting around about maybe 100 to 200 damage a shot. If it goes through, though, it's going to absolutely wreck them. But for me, in this thing, this isn't I'm going to shoot a wheelie bin full of high explosive at you and kill you in one shot. It's the kind of tank that peppers them. It's a DPM artillery piece. It shoots 6 rounds a minute. One every 10 seconds, 6 rounds a minute. And 100 damage a shot, that's 600 damage a minute. That's not bad. And if it penetrates, holy shitbags. But what you do with HE is you take out modules, you take out tracks, guns, viewports, engines, crew, and you generally piss your enemy off because they think they're safe. The amount of times I've got called a hacker using this tank is unbelievable, and it's annoying. So in my setup, I basically go with aiming, doohickey, enhanced gun lane drive, a rammer, and vents. Okay, you've got 6 crew members. Skills, I go for 6 cents on my commander and camo, Deadeye and camo on my gunner, off-road driving and smooth ride on my driver, camo and firefighting, and safe stowage and camouflage. To be honest with you, I'm not really arsed about the skills on this thing. Options, stick them in the chat below what you think is better. I'm not really bothered. I'm not going to pay money to change the skills over on this thing because this thing is just fun. It's an absolute giggle wagon, and I love my little Bert. To be honest with you, I think it stands out as one of the only SPGs in the game that I can actually find amusing to play. A lot of the other SPGs, it's basically a case of find a bush, sit in it, and blow people up from long range. With this thing, you have to move around, you have to think a lot more, which I'm going to hopefully show you in the gameplay. I've got a couple of games. I don't know how many I'm going to do yet because I haven't done the editing, but I'm going to record a few because I've got a few with jingles and I've got a few of my own that I've had recently. So, on to the gameplay. Okay then, guys, I thought it would be only fair, to start us off with a jingles replay, seeing as half of my subs are now jingles minions. So, here we are. We're on Sand River, and I'm in Bert, suitably camoed up. Now, at the start of the game, I was kind of wondering where to go. One thing I didn't mention in the review was the range on the FV304's cannon. It's only got a 550-ish metre range. So you really cannot sit at the back of the map like you can with most tier 6 artillery pieces. You really have to sort of gauge where you're going to go. And think about it, I'm just going to turn the sound settings down a little bit just in case. I've tried to disable sound mod, but it doesn't seem to want to work. Let's just do the effects. Okay, turn that down a little bit more. Okay, that's turned it down significantly. Alright, so I decided to take this position here for the simple reason I wanted to be able to shoot here, these areas, because that's where most of the enemy tanks seem to go on this map. Unfortunately, they don't seem to want to play ball. Oh, by the way, I have a raging man cold as well, just to put it into perspective, so it sounds a bit gravelly and horrible. Our Type 58, I'm pre-aiming on this corner, but I don't freaking know why, because there's no one there. But, you know, I'm with the jingles, you know, you've got to act like you don't know what you're doing around the jingles. You know what I mean? You've got to make it look good. No, I'm joking. No. So, they seem to be camping at their base. So, the T1 Heavy that we just spotted, Type 58 spots, are they really going to camp the base? In fact, let's turn the volume up slightly. You won't be able to hear it at all. Now, artillery replays generally are quite boring, but I'm just going to try and explain to you what I'm trying to do. See, they're all camping on the base, so poor old Bert has to move forward because poor old Bert can't reach that far. So I decided to move up to the ridge. Now what's basically happened, myself, Melanthius and Jingles' spider senses are ticking here. Simple reason, we're getting flanked on the south. So I basically stick with Jingles, I move up to where Melanthius is here, and I want to put some shells into the guys in the enemy camp who are basically sitting on their enemy base. Now you have to pick your targets in Bert. You want to prioritise your lower armoured targets. I mean, an IS, let's see if I hit him. Yeah, I always take a snapshot to start with, thankfully that hit him. But I only did 200 damage. I always do that, by the way. When the aiming circle's full, I always take a punt because you've only got 10 seconds and you're going to be reloaded again. You know, so you may as well take that shot and then use the reload time as your aiming time as well. You never know, you might get lucky. The top of an 88, chances are it's not going to penetrate, but the key with Bert, what I find is, you get your satisfaction from your damage at the end of the game when you look at how many modules and crew members you wrecked on the enemy tanks. So it's not just all about the direct damage. Now I'm taking blind shots here. Now that didn't splash, so therefore that hit that 88. Again, I'm not going to the damage isn't going to register on excuse me, on XVM to start with. Now Jingles is making his way back to our cap circle because he's basically screaming, not screaming, he's mentioning in the dulcet tones of the Jingles that we are being capped. So I'm going to take one more shot. I think it's been a while since I played this game. I'll take one more shot at this flat panzer just to see if I can get him, and you one-shot him. You see, now that's the difference with Bert. If you get the top hatch or the top end of the enemy tanks, because of the arc of travel of the shell, you can actually hit their top plate, which if you go to things like Tank Inspector and all kinds of things like that, where you show the armour values, the top skin of the tanks is always very light. On that one I hit him in the side, so it only does 100, but that's 100 every 10 seconds. Now Jingles is managing, he's fighting an awesome battle down south, trying to root out that K1S. Now I hit that VK again, but unfortunately I didn't watch to see the shell land. I'm going to take a punt at the artillery to see if he stays still, which I think he does. Boom, there you go, taking him out. So now Jingles is on his own down there. I think he's got a Nashorn and a Tiger P helping him, but to be honest with you, from what the swearing and general industrial language that he was using, see, that went straight through. Yeah, the industrial language that Jingles uses now. I'm trying to make sure and help these guys. Now, that's secure, so now I have to relocate. Now, this is where the mobility comes in. I've got 1300 damage already. This is where the mobility of Bert comes in. I can redeploy. You know, I've only got a 550 metre range, but it don't matter when you can do 70 kph. So, relocate. Jingles is absolutely screaming at this point. He's only on 200 health, and it's time to put Bert's DPM to work. So, 62, 63, just aim, take your time, you've got time, put a shot in. Bang. Reset the cap. I love this when the enemy tanks as well, when they look around, it's like, what the hell was that? Yeah, and it's Bert, bro, it's Bert. So, KV1, a very heavily armoured target. Yeah, Bert's not going to penetrate, only did 27 damage. But it's enough to piss him off, and it's enough to reset the cap. Now, the guys in the cap circle don't exactly do very well. One enemy Hellcat, and I think it's a Stug as well. Completely rinse him. Now, Jingles gets a bit jittery here, because Jingles thinks he's going to get absolutely splatted. But Bert's there to help him. You know, the globs will see you right, Jingles. Can I get another shot on him? Yes, I can. This is the DPM, so I completely leave it. I miss him, but Jingles takes him out. KV1S is still moving backwards and forwards. Jingles just keeps spotting them, and I'll just keep... Now, the Hellcat, you see out on the enemy team. I hit their KV1S again. Left him on 44 health, and he's still looking around saying, where the hell's that coming from? And I take out the KV1S. Now it's just a full health Tiger. And he's got very good armour. He's got a, basically, for want of a better terminology, 100mm all the way around. So my shells are not going to penetrate unless I hit a weak spot like a hatch or something. But this Tiger's a better player than the KV1S. He's angling himself to Jingles. Okay, and he keeps moving. That saved him 100 health right there. He just keeps jinking and jiving. I think as soon as I sort of fire, he's moving again. Which is a pain in the arse. Well, kudos to him. You know, kudos to him. He's shielding himself from Jingles. Right, and all Jingles needs to do is keep him spotted, and I can keep putting damage into him.
Enemy is hit.
Now that managed to penetrate. Now that was a really good hit on that Tiger. That's very. I was not expecting that to happen, but the top plates of a Tiger, like the roof of the turret and the roof of the hull, are actually quite thin. Uh-oh. Tiger's getting bored. Jingles starts shrinking away into a corner. Does it hit?
Critical
yes, hit. 110 damage. Now you see, that's enough. Just keep peppering them. Keep hitting them. Now the Tiger 1 in the enemy cap circle is basically just getting sat there and getting taken apart by the enemy Hellcat. And now the Tiger's realised what's happening, and he's making a beeline for Jingles. Jingles is still on bingo health. He's on 14 health, and I can't save him. I can't do 500 damage to a Tiger but he missed. I can't possibly do 500 damage to a Tiger in the time it takes for Jingles. Oh, Jingles, no! Yeah, Jingles dies.
That was close.
17 damage. It was a miss. So I do the only thing I think I can do. You know, fuck this. Let's go and help the Tiger 1 cap. You know, I'm not going to be able to do anything against that Tiger on my own. As soon as he sees me, if he rolls high, he's going to kill me. If he has his nous about him, he's going to fire HE at me and just blow me to pieces. Now, that Tiger's basically been taken apart by the enemy Hellcat. I'm going to go assist with the cap. Hopefully the KV1S will manage to keep him at bay. A bit of airtime over the cliff there, which is always good. And try and assist with the cap. Oh, he's been hit again. Yeah, I think the Hellcat, to his credit, was shooting HE at him. Yeah, looks like it. Hellcat shooting HE at him. Don't know where the two Panzer SF5, whatever the hell they are doing. I don't know where they are. I don't know how fast they are, but there's plenty of cover in the cap circle due to all the dead players. So, might be an idea to get in the cap circle. There's two enemies in the cap circle, in our cap circle. And I don't think we can win this. But let's try and make it a draw. See what I mean? There's 6 seconds between it. I don't think we're going to win, and this Tiger can't afford to get shot again. And I think he will. Yeah, all the Hellcat has to do is damage him, and they're more than likely going to get a third in, so this is looking like a loss, unfortunately. Yeah, there's the Hellcat. There's the Hellcat. I'm trying to back up. I'm trying to go in and snipe. He spotted me. And unfortunately, we lose due to capping. It's bloody close though. Bloody close. Right, I'll just get the post-game stats on that one. Alright, I've worked out a new way of doing this battle results shenanigans. Instead of taking screenshots, I just upload my replays to worldoftanksreplays.com. This one's up there. Unfortunately, yes, that was a defeat, but not by much. It's not very often I put defeats up. I felt this one was worthy. Just to put it into perspective, let's just have a look. I critted him. I critted all these vehicles. Look at all these crits. It doesn't actually tell you what they actually critted. But that KV1S, I critted 4 things. Only hit him 4 times. I hit critical hit 4 things. That could be crew, could be modules. That's what you're aiming for with Bert. Yeah, that's what Bert's for, DPM. Okay. Second on the leaderboard. Inexperience, but top on damage. Yeah, and that's in a tank that only does like 100 damage a hit unless you penetrate, which you very rarely do with it. Myself and Jingles there had an absolutely fantastic game. Unfortunately, it was a defeat. I'm not going to go into the ins and outs of what actually let us down there. It was just general World of Tanks shenanigans, basically. It did net me 32,000 credits. Alright, not too bad at all. And that's not a bad hit ratio either. 27 shots fired, 15 rounds hit. With artillery, that's pretty good. Yeah, Bert is reasonably accurate. Right then, on to the next game. Okay, back with more Bert. This time, the purpose of this game, I've already demonstrated the limitations slash, I wouldn't say power, but potential of the FV304 or Bert's gun. What I want to do now is demonstrate the mobility. Now, like I mentioned earlier, with the restrictions of the gun, it's only got a 550 meter range, so you really have to think about where you're going. Now, on Westfield, okay, where do tanks normally end up? I think there's normally a brawl around the C2, D3 ridge and the town. So I decided I'm going to go north and support that, okay? There's a lot of heavily armoured tanks on the enemy team. To be honest with you, we've got a lot more squishy heavies than they have. As I use the term squishy very loosely. We've got a lot of Japanese tanks which are known for their shit armour. We've got things like VK3002Ds and that kind of stuff, and they've got IS's T29. They've got a T29, which is an instant advantage because that thing is by far the strongest tank tier for tier. In the game. I think it's one of the best tanks in the game tier for tier. In this kind of matchup, it's absolutely brutal. As tier set top tier, T29, I'd be rubbing my hands at this point. So move along this ridge. Now I'm doing 30 kph up the hill, which isn't bad at all. Once I get onto the flat, it really starts to motor along once you start to get onto the flat. I don't know what that guy's saying in French. If anyone can translate that, that'd be good. It's something about iPhones, I think. Salut means hello, as far as I know. Right, so there's a flak bus up there. Just take a punt at him just in case it hits. If that hit, that'd make it into RNG or something. So hey ho, it's worth a try. With a 10-second reload, I'm going to reload by the time I get there. Now look at how many enemy heavies are up here. They do sort of outmatch us in heavies at this point in time. Our luck just decided to go balls deep and just get himself killed. So let's start scanning for some targets. Now this is what I mean by you have to pick your targets. I'm picking the KV1S, it's slightly less armoured than a IS. Now that was a garbage shot, I'm not going to lie there. Let the side down there. Anyway, so I can't see him. Flak bus is already dead, so let's scan around for some targets. Now look at that. That's just punt and hit, basically. Now that T1 heavy, that's the kind of target you want to go for. As an artillery player, I pick out targets on low health. I want to kill them because it takes their guns out of the game. Some people call it kill stealing, but nobody can shoot that T1 heavy. He thinks he's safe. But on my reload, I missed the first round, so I'll just blind shot the second one. Hopefully it hits and refocus on somebody else, which it does hit. But unfortunately, just to give you a perspective, the guys here are being flanked by this Hellcat, and they're also outgunned. They're outnumbered and outgunned, so these guys aren't going to last very long. And yet again, I'll just bring it up on the map for you once this shot's gone our way. Once this shot goes out, this one actually hits. Yeah, that hits 105. Look at F0 and E0. Why the hell are they there? Map awareness, there's absolutely nothing. I counted, I think there was 7 enemy tanks here. Yeah, there's only frickin' what? 9 tanks left on the enemy team. Sorry, 11 tanks left. One of them's artillery, and the other one's camping somewhere in the Luchus, so that all the enemy tanks are here. You know, and we've just lost this flank. Now, this is where the mobility of little old Bert comes in handy. If you were in any other artillery piece in the game, you would be screwed now. But little old Bert, once he's going downhill, can get 70 odd kph. And you try and hit him with a Russian gun when he's doing 75 kph. I'm fucking running for the hills. I'm running so quick my shadow can't keep up. Unfortunately, what I do here is I underestimate the bumpiness of the ground here, and I get a bit of airtime and take my tracks off. But I've got a repair kit for that kind of thing. The only way we're going to win this game now is by capping. Alright, and that was my personal opinion, so that was my decision I made. I'm going to go balls deep as quick as I can to the cap. See, the enemy, and a friendly AMX M445 up there, what the fuck's he doing up there? You know, dude, seriously? You know, what we've got now, if you look at the map, we've got a nice screen of the VK, the Cheeto, and the other Chi, whatever it is, and the AMX. So, me and the Cromwell are going to try our hardest to cap. He's already started to cap, which means they'll already be coming back. They've got a T49, which is quite quick, and the AMX M4 on their team's quite quick. But if I get there fast enough, it's only a standard game. I mean, look how quick this thing is. Bombing along on the slope at the on the flat at about 70 kph. Hellcats dream of going this quick. So, get my arse in the cap. Okay, and reduce the time by half. Cromwell's doing the right thing, sitting behind the building. Okay, let's just wait. So I've got terrible man cold. I'm sniffing and snorting like a cocaine addict here. And let's just wait and see what happens. 24 seconds, we've got the time. If they keep ticking the same way, you know, we've got the time, and here comes the AMX. Now, we can't afford to get hit. Now, the Cromwell realises the threat. Tries to take out the T49, and we just can't afford to get shot. Now, the VK does the right thing and presents himself as a target, whether it's intentionally or not, and leaves me and the Cromwell have got the most cap points in the cap circle. Yeah, there's the mobility of the FV304. So let's look at some stats. In fact, the stats won't be that really worth looking at, to be perfectly honest with you, but we'll have a look at them anyway. Yep, I definitely think I'm going to carry on doing this style of after battle results. Yep, it was a victory. Nothing really to write home about. It was my ×3, but a win's a win. It does demonstrate the ability and the mobility of Bert. Didn't really do a great deal of damage on that one. Only 600 damage. But like I said, when you're shooting heavily armoured targets, you're not going to get monster damage. All right, time for one more. Right then, last one of the review. Then I'm on Tundra. Okay, and I'm on my little Todd, on my lonesome again, in my Bert, and I announced to chat, have no fear, Bert is here. I wanted to show you this one to emphasise the arc of the gun, and how some enemies seem to think they're safe, or arty safe if you like.
Move out.
Now, the enemy team aren't exactly fantastic. We do have the advantage of the better players, but some of them do display a little bit of skill and awareness of things like artillery. I'm just going to speed up the replay slightly just to get into position. I've chosen this position up here. Remember, I've only got a 550 metre range, so I can hit the main points of engagement. I've got a nice big rock in front of me. Alright, and I'm reasonably safe from their vision, and I can quite easily hit them. Again, like I said, I always take a little bit of a punch shot to start with. Alright, and this is where you see the angle of the shells. It just means I can hit them when they think they're safe, like this bit here. Yeah, bang. Now that hit them. I don't know whether it damaged them or not. No, it didn't damage the Stuart, but this time he thinks he's safe. Unlucky, pal. See you later. Night night.
Enemy armor is destroyed.
Takes him out. Now this E25 can be a pest. That's probably going to be my next tank to do a little bit of review on. I'm having such fun in that vehicle. It is unreal. The DPM on it is absolutely ridiculous. P29 again, one fully aimed, take a punch shot. You've got the shells, you've got 60 rounds. Now can I hit this? See, I can actually hit that E25. It's going to be a very difficult shot to hit, but I can still get him. He thinks he's safe. He's one of the better players on their team. So let's just have a put at the T29, miss him. Go for a less well-armoured target. I mean, the A44 side scraping, that's another branch of tanks I might look at going down with the turrets in the rear. That was aimed, and that's a hit. Hit the front of the tank, only does 125 damage. Project Man Cave. Jingles is doing a video on making up his own man cave in his house. I'm in the process of decorating mine, so that's why I haven't been giving you as many videos as you're used to over the weeks. For the simple reason, I haven't got anywhere to do it. I've had to wait until my wife goes into the bath, okay, to be able to film and basically comment on these replays. Otherwise, she's either got friends on or the dog's pestering me and doing my head in. So this one's going to have to do for the next couple of days. I'm working over the weekend. I've got some bits and pieces to do, so there won't be any videos over the weekend. Hopefully this will keep you entertained and hopefully keep you sticking around long enough for me to put some more stuff up. So this E25, bless him, is holding the corner like an absolute boss. That's a very dangerous SU-152. I can hit this E25. I don't think I missed him, but only by a couple of feet, and he goes down. Now, this is the thing that Bert can actually do. This E25 is oblivious. I take some hits off him, and it allows him to turn around and one-shot him. He would have had to have put 2 shots into that E25 to kill him, which he probably would have died. But he died to the T29 anyway. But hey-ho, you know, you can't do everything. You're only artillery. T29's going, yo, no he's not. He's going to stay there. Ooh. And unfortunately, someone kills him before I get a chance to. Oh, a flak bus. Yeah, you don't have any issues killing flak buses with their paper armour. Yeah, that guy was in all kinds of the wrong place there. Just waiting for the reload, drop another shell on the SU. Yeah, again, critical hit. You know, you're probably damaging tracks there, maybe the gun, maybe a crew member. Yeah, it's not about the big damage, even though I have done 1200. Just a blind shot there, and that hit him again. You know, it doesn't show up on XVM, but that was actually a hit. Oh, A44. You are way out of position there, son, and you're getting punished for it. We've got quite a strong presence on this side of the map anyway. I mean, we're winning the game anyway, we're easily winning it. There's no way they're getting down here unless they go completely balls deep. But they've got a T29, a Tiger 2 and an SU-100 covering them, so that takes his track off. And by the time he repairs, unless he's got a full repair crew, I'm going to have reloaded, but I decide against it. Now this is where I have to try and route these guys out, because this is going to end up being a stalemate. The T29 don't want to go around the corner into the dirt gun of death and destruction on the SU-152. So I can start routing these guys out using my gun arc. I've got 45 rounds left. I can shoot a round every time it reloads and still have plenty of rounds left to the end of the match. Just a quick shot there just to see if he's there, and I'm just basically just waiting. I've got time to aim. You know, I know where these guys are. The T29's proxy spotting them. I'm just waiting for them to make a mistake, basically. As soon as they stick themselves out far enough, you know, I'm going to get them. There's no way that A44 can shoot the guys down there, so he's basically useless. His gun depression's garbage, so he's basically stalemated out of the game. SU-152 is just waiting for these guys to go around the corner. Oh, there you go. There's your mistake. Oh, and I missed. Should have aimed. But then again, by the time I reload, he should back up into my reticle. Hopefully. Yep, there we go. Oh, you lucky bastard. Again, he's just sitting there. Whether he's aware that I'm shooting at him, no, he's just fired. Oh, he's dead. Boom. Just waiting for him to make it. Now, these two heavy tanks should have taken this and just gone round the corner. Tiger should have gone first. Take the hit off the 152. Yeah, and I'm just annoying the A44 now. He's just so pissed. He's looking. He doesn't know. He thinks somebody's behind him. He doesn't know I've got shots on him, because that, considered for most of the time, is an artillery safe position. Unfortunately, not when Bert's around, because Bert's got a very high arc. And these guys just need to bull rush this guy now. And he fires, and I don't know what the T29 was doing there, but you can't fix stupid or bad aiming, and that's the end of the game pretty much. I don't think I get the SU. I don't know what you see. This is one of the problems playing artillery as well, which I'll talk about when we look at the post-game stats. Right then, post-game stats on that one. There were a few blind shots in there and ended up coming away with a little bit more damage than expected. Let's put it into perspective. I finished second on the table. The only one that did better than me was the SU-100, which I think he got a little bit more spotting damage than me. Yeah, I don't know why he did better than me. Hey ho, I'm not here to question that. All right. Anyway, boring story short. As far as I'm concerned, Bert is an absolutely fantastic artillery piece. I've yet to get my mastery badge. All right, so there's a post-game stats on that one. 2,500 experience on a ×2. 860 base. Yeah, 525 times, hit 12. That's not bad odds. Just back to the garage quickly then, and we'll do a finish off. To summarise then, what a tank this thing is. Some people laugh at it, but used in the correct hands, very, very scary piece of kit. You ain't going to carry no games in it though. But fun, A star. Performance, B at the most. But this is one of those vehicles in the game that is greater than the sum of its parts. It really is. Fantastic little vehicle. Would I recommend getting one? Oh hell yes. Yeah, you must. We must get more Berts in the game. Yeah, we must have more Berts in the game because Bert is pro. I've had it a couple of times in games as well where people have actually bitched at me for being too close, moving too much. You know, why are you that close, Artie? You should be at the back. Well, no, because I know my own tank. Fuck off, you know. So we need to get more of these in the game. The British SPG line is quite garbage. The tank before this, the Bishop, I actually free XP'd through because it is that bad. It gets that gun on a tank that does Matilda speed. It's ridiculously shit. But this thing, it's worth the grind. So, hope you enjoyed that. Like I said, I've got yet to get my mastery badge. I don't know what I have to do in this tank to get my mastery badge. But evidently it's a lot more than what I'm doing at the moment. Alright, take care of yourselves, guys. I shall see you in a few more days once I've got my man cave assembled and sorted out, bits and pieces set up. Hope you've enjoyed this style of replay, and I shall see you in the future. Bye now.